All right, so you are a real estate agent and you've heard about retargeting. You want to know what it is exactly, or maybe you already know what it is, but you've never truly applied it. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what retargeting is, how it works, and some of the best strategies for retargeting. So let's get into the video. So what is retargeting, right? So the simplest way to put it is we are showing ads or showing content to people that have previously engaged with other content. That's the simplest way to put it. This could be in the form of an ad. This could even be in the form of a DM campaign, like an Instagram DM campaign, Facebook message campaign. The actual objective of the campaign doesn't actually matter. The whole point of retargeting is somebody has engaged with your content, whether they went to your website, whether they downloaded a PDF, whether they, clicked on an ad. It doesn't really matter because we can kind of segment all these different possibilities when it comes to retargeting. So here's kind of a practical and very tactical way to view retargeting. So you can see here on my browser, if you follow my mouse, I have this thing called a Facebook Pixel Helper. Okay, and so what that does is I use Google Chrome, and so what that enables me to do is it just gives me an easy way to see if a website has a tracking pixel, right? And we use that because we have clients that we work with, and it's a really easy way to see if everything's set up correctly, right? So if we go to a website like Forbes, I believe they have their pixel on. That's just what I thought of. But you can see this extension turned on, right? So what this means is that they have a pixel set up. And so now, they can essentially show me an ad, right? If they want to, right? There are some nuances when it comes to Facebook's Pixel and just some different things that have gone on with iOS and stuff. I'm not going to get into that in this video because we have ways around that so we can still retarget people. And I think it kind of comes hand in hand with just where all these different platforms are going. And ultimately, I just believe they're all becoming their own individual ecosystem. And each platform is going to want you to kind of play by their rules. And it's already been set up like that. But I think, as of recently, I'm just seeing the trend that, each platform is going to kind of do its thing. And, these platforms are going to be so interconnected that you're going to want to keep people on the platform anyway. So, anyway, that's how the pixel looks, right, when it's on. So basically, like if I go onto another website, right, where they are running ads or something like that, then it's going to show the actual, they could potentially retarget, right? Maybe they think that I'm interested in their magazine subscription or whatever it is that they sell directly. So they may retarget me, right? So it's the same thing with you as a real estate agent, and this is what we want to do for your business is we want to actually set up retargeting, and there's a few ways that we can do it to start. Number one is actually putting it on your website. So depending on what your website server is or who created your website or what the platform is built on, it's going to look a little bit different, but I'll basically take you inside of, where all of these things are kind of found. And it's pretty much the same for all these other different platforms as well. So, with Google, there's Google Pixel, there's Google Tag, there's all these different things. But in this video, I want to show you the Facebook Pixel. So if we go to all tools here, so I'm in the Business Manager, and then we go to the Events Manager. Sorry if you hear, the gardener, they're doing their thing. So here's your pixel, right? And so you can see all the different pixels we have. And so if I go to my pixel right here, or one of mine, this is basically where you find your pixel, right? let me pause it and close the window all the way. Hold on. All right, so that should be better. So here's where you find your pixel, right? And here's basically how you're going to install it. So you're going to go to Add Events, and then you're going to do From a New Website. So if you don't already have the pixel on your website, then this is how you're going to do it. So you're going to install the code manually, and basically you're just going to paste this into the header of your website, or the base into your website. And it's really easy to do. I'll show you how we do it with our CRM. So basically, if we go into our CRM and I go to my sites, and then I just want to create a new website. So our software makes it super easy to make a website. I'm just going to do new, or I'll use a template. So we can go to real estate, and I'll just choose this one, real estate development, and I'm just going to basically make my website in a few clicks. So there's the website. I just made this literally right as we're doing this demo. So here's basically your new website, right? And you could see all the pages. It's a live actual website that's already set up. So you can change the actual the words and just, actually make it custom to you, but the website's live. So you can see right here, there's no pixel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to settings right here. I'm going to move me over here, and I'm just going to paste the head tracking code and the body tracking code, and I'm going to click save. And if we refresh this, you should see this turn blue and green. So we refresh it here, and just like that, we have a live pixel. So then what's going to happen is if we go back to Facebook, if it picked it up, I think it already did. Oh, that's the wrong pixel. So let's see. So it didn't pick it up quite yet. I think I actually already approved this domain. But with Facebook, you have to approve the domain that the pixel's on. So because I run a lot of tests on here, this domain, it's probably already approved, okay? So that's how you install your pixel. It's super easy, and it's basically on every page of the website. So you can see if I go to here, here's the pixel as well. So now we have the pixel installed, so it's super easy, right? So now the next kind of objective, or the next thing that we want to do, is how do we actually set this up in terms of retargeting? Because we now have the pixel, right? We're tracking the activity, but how do we actually show ads to those people, or show content to those people that viewed the website, right? So this is where the ads manager comes in. So we'll go to our ads manager, and then we're just going to use our test account. So I'll use this one right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first go to, so you need to go to the proper ad account, and then you're going to need to go to your audiences, okay? And I'm going to show you all the different ways that you could set up retargeting within Facebook and Instagram. So I'm going to go here to create audience and custom audience. So basically what we're doing is we have these different sources of data, and we have sources of data from Facebook itself, or Meta, and we can use these different sources to essentially create a set of audience, right? So for example, if I click on your website, depending on how many people are on your website and how well the pixel tracked that activity, you could make this an audience, right? And same thing, you're not going to ever really use app or catalog or offline activity. The main ones you're going to use are website, customer list, video, lead form, Instagram account, and then potentially events. If you do like first-time homebuyer events or other types of events, this is kind of a unique, cool way to actually come up with a strategy. But the main ones are website, customer list, video, lead form, Instagram, Facebook page. And then events would be more of like a bonus strategy if you actually use it, right? So what we're doing is we're going to create an audience based off of that pixel that I just created. So I just added this to my website. And so now I want to start tracking, it's not only tracking, right? Because as soon as the pixel is on the website, it begins tracking. But what we're doing in this specific segment is we're creating that audience so that not only is it going to consistently add new people into that. So if somebody goes to the website after you create this audience source, it's going to add those people in automatically. But it also becomes something that you could utilize when you run the ad. So when you run an ad, you choose your location, you choose your audience, you choose your demographics. Well, when we create this, we're going to be able to basically select this audience. So we're going to click website, click next, and then we're going to choose this pixel since, I'm not going to actually be using this, but what we can do here are a few different events. So this is really powerful, especially I'm quite familiar with KV Core, I'm familiar with Boomtown, I'm familiar with Lion Desk. So there's a lot of different CRMs that are out there, right? And they all have great function when it comes to IDX. And so, or some of them do, excuse me. So really where this is going to be super, super powerful is going to be within the websites that have IDX, right? So for example, if I go to one of my clients, he's at EXP, and so if I go to his his actual EXP website, I'm going to show you a really cool hack. It's not a hack, but make sure that this is him. No, I don't think this is him, but this is fine because it doesn't matter as long as the website has IDX function. So what's really cool is this feature. Okay, so when we're creating this audience, let me move this over here and close this out. So when we're creating the audience, we have a few different options. So the source is going to be the pixel itself, and then the events we can choose between. So let's say we want to do all website visitors. So all website visitors is probably the most simple way to do it if you're like starting out, because all you have to do is just leave it and then type in all website visitors, and then I just like to do 30 days, or I think it goes back 180. So that's going to be your biggest audience. But what I'm going to show you is just this cool little trick. So let's say that somebody, like for example, if we go to houses here, you see how this domain starts to get real long, right? Like it starts to add these different basically it's like a URL slug. So what we can do is basically figure out what changes in the domain and retarget people based on that specific content. So let's say, for example, you run an ad to people that are interested in homes in, let's just say, Pasadena, right? And so after they, see the ad, they're taken to like a little list like this, and maybe you make the list with some filters, right? So a minimum price would be, let's say, $750, and then maybe you only do single family, and then I'll just leave it at that for now, right? And you apply these filters. So now you can see this slug has changed, right? So you can see we have the domain, we have this, which is going to stay the same, but now we've got this very unique part of this search feature, which says Pasadena plus CA, right? And so I would bet you that any state or any city and state is going to be the same exact formula. So I'll show you what I mean here. So if we copy this, and if I just put this on a Google Doc, you'll see what I'm saying. So if I come here to blank and then I click paste, so let's try another city. So let's just try Let's try Glendora, California. So now we're going to go here and we're going to do the same kind of thing. So we're going to do more filters. We're going to do a minimum price of, let's just say, 500,000 here. And then we're going to do single family again. Now look at that. It's the same exact formula, just a different, name, right? So you can see it's perfectly the same. So, this is a little bit more advanced, but I do want to obviously provide as much value as I can, because if you're at the level that, can do this or understand it, then cool, right? So what's really cool is, like I said, is when we go into this pixel, we could choose all website visitors. So those are going to be just people that, maybe they're looking in another state or something, or whatever it is, anyone that's on the website. But we could also do people who visit specific web pages, okay? And then what happens is now we can choose the URL contains, and then we can put this last piece of information. So we can just literally put Glendora. We don't have to do the whole thing because it just says contains, right? If we put equals, then it would have to be the full domain, but all we have to do is put that, and then we can come here, and then we can put this, and we could basically stack all these different cities and then run ads, number one, based on these specific intents, right? So let's say that it was, just to simplify it, let's just say that we just set up an audience that was Pasadena, which I would recommend only doing one city at a time, because when you run the ad, you can stack the different audiences together. So it's always cleaner to have one main input, one thing that you put in, because you can always add on top of it, right? But if you start batching things when you're creating it, then when you run the ad, you don't really have it's not clean, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to say visited website, and then we can just put Pasadena, and then we could do 180 days. So let's follow this thread of what I'm showing you here, and then you'll kind of get the idea. So visited website, Pasadena, right? Created audience. So you would run an ad, and then the first original ad would be about properties for sale in Pasadena or whatever it was. And then this URL is going to pick up, the fact that, these properties are in Pasadena. And you can see that if I go here to Pasadena as well, and if I click even on a specific property here, and I go to view details, you'll see the MLS ID. So you could literally retarget people that viewed a specific property, guys. So I could go on and on about things you could do, but this is really, really cool, okay? So let's just follow this thread of people basically on your website, and they were looking at the last piece of content that you directed them to, which in this example was a Pasadena list, right, of properties. So now when we go and we create in our ads manager, this is how we essentially retarget. So you could do the same thing as well if you're doing, door knocking, and you have a QR code, and then you're taking people to, your website or a squeeze page or something like that. You can retarget those people. So maybe you send out mailers, and then you have a QR code that takes them to this specific page in this example. And then you could basically create that actual audience of people that you sent mailers to, right? And if they're on your website on that page, you know that they literally came from your door knocking, okay? So really powerful. So we're going to go here to lead gen, and we're just going to call this warm traffic because they've engaged. And then I just call it the name of the campaign. If you want the cheat sheet that we have for setting up all this stuff, totally free, just comment below and I'll send it over to you. But for now, or actually I could show it to you because I'm going to need it right here. So I can send you this cheat sheet. It's a little bit different than this, but it basically just literally shows you exactly how to create a campaign. So I built that over these last 5 years running ads. So this is the perfect way to do it. So there's our campaign. We would click housing because it is related to housing. And we're going to go to the next phase. So then you're going to choose your page. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to go down to, your budget. So let's just say you want your retargeting budget to be $10 a day. And then for your audiences. So this is the good part. So now instead of having to go here and type Zillow, Trulia, that's what you're going to do for cold. That's how you're going to drive new people into your business. But if you want to, retarget these people, which is the whole point of this video, we come here to custom audiences and check this out. Visited website Pasadena. So it's not available just because I didn't even set it up on that person's website. But look at that. So now, right? And you gotta know kind of what you're doing here, because if you're not driving any traffic to your website and no one's visiting this, your ad's not gonna work, right? But assuming you ran an ad prior, right? And you can check out my other videos on how to run ads, and you send them to, like I said, a specific property or even a specific like demographic or area to search. Like if you sent them to this, like let's say this was your listing, and then they filled out a lead form, and then they came right here. It's literally, you could literally paste this same URL right here, and then that these people came and literally landed on this page. And you could say, hey, I saw that you were imagine you did a video. Let's say hypothetically you had 10,000 people that landed on this page. You could literally do a video, say, hey, this is Quinn here from New Breed Agent. I saw that you were checking out this property. You have, this image pop up. Saw you were checking out this property. We actually just recently accepted an offer, and the property is selling now. But if you are interested in other properties like it, I have a listing coming up soon. It's got the same, let's see. It's got 3 beds. It's got 3 baths as well. And it's going for 1.1 or whatever you want to say. So this is like hyper specific marketing right here. And it all just comes down to these little details that people don't maybe teach you or you don't know about, which is what I'm attempting to do here. I'm doing it, and hopefully you guys understand, right? So we basically told Facebook, hey, I want to only target people that visited this specific page on my website. And then you're not going to want to mess with the location or the age or the gender. You actually can't mess with these anyway. And you don't want to add any interest here, because as soon as you do, it's going to prioritize these audiences. Because, if you add Zillow here, and you're going to basically you're going to confuse Facebook, and either it'll show it to people that are interested in Zillow, or it's going to think people that visited this website had to also like Zillow. So you leave this just the way that it is, and then you're going to want this as automatic placements, just because that's the most simplest way to retarget, and you could basically follow these people around everywhere. So if they, were on this website page, that you're literally going to show an ad on their feed, Instagram feed, marketplace, video feeds, explore, stories and reels. Like, you're going to be virtually all over, right? And just from them landing on that page. Now, what you're going to do here is you're going to create the actual ad. So I'm going to kind of, just kind of freestyle how to do this. So let's save this. Let's see if it lets me save it. Yeah, it's not going to let me save it on this type of a website. So I'm just going to screenshot it, and I'm going to come here and say, hey there, I noticed you recently checked out this property. So you don't have to do a video if you're not comfortable yet. I highly recommend doing it, and I'll be creating some content on how to get comfortable on video and all the reasons you should do it. But you could basically say, hi there, I noticed you recently checked out this property here in Pasadena. This property ended up receiving, 40 offers and sold $25K over asking price. If you are interested in more properties like this, I have 3 coming up that are just as beautiful, spacious, and what's another feature of this house? Spacious and charming. I'm just going to put charming. Boom. So now you're literally like I said, you just basically, they have no clue how you did this. And you could tell them that you watch Quinn Nolan on YouTube. But look at that. So imagine going to this website, right? And seeing this specific property, and maybe you checked it out for a bit of time, and then immediately after it's like, hey there, I noticed you recently checked out this property. Property ended up receiving 40 offers and sold $25K over asking price. If you are interested in more properties like this, I have 3 coming up that are just as beautiful, spacious, and charming. And then you could put click learn more, and I'll send you over these 3 properties before they go on the market. Okay, so there's a few things to consider here. Number 1, you want to have enough volume on this page. Okay, if you only have 10 people and you're trying to spend $10 a day, it's not going to work. Okay, so you want to either start with all of your website visitors or something that has actually had a significant amount of traffic, and that can only come from cold traffic or reels or other content pieces that you're creating. But you get the idea, right? This is actually how you do it. I know people kind of get here and they're like, oh yeah, just post whatever. But this is how you do it right. And the other thing you can do as well is, let's say, like I said, when we were creating that audience here, visited website, you could stack the other one. I didn't actually create it, but I could stack it just like that. So then it would show visited website Pasadena, visited website Glendora, visited website Bel Air, visited website Beverly Hills, right? And you could stack all those people that viewed that content, and then you could go here to the images, and then you could do a carousel. So you could have the first image be this property, right, which was one of them that they viewed. And then I can go here and I'm just going to use it just so I don't have to keep downloading these new images. And let's see if I have one more house. There we go. So imagine they viewed one of these 3 properties, or right, let's say that they viewed something in Pasadena. Let's just set up this filter here with just single family, and then apply filters. Oops. Okay, so then let's say they're here, right? So Pasadena, CA. So this is going to be this entire search. So what you could do technically, and you would go into the actual house, but I'm just going to show you for demo. So you could take, right, these top maybe 3 or 4, right? And then they're going to see, oh, I remember seeing one of those. And so it doesn't have to just be one property, since that thing is based upon basically anything that landed on that search criteria of Pasadena. It's not just, the people that, saw that specific property. If you did do that specific property, then you would want to just focus on that. But they would be like, oh, this isn't the best screenshot. Like I said, I want to show you what I mean. So they'd be like, oh, shoot, I did see that, right? And now they're getting an ad, and then you're retargeting them to, fill out a form, right? So let's complete this, right? So you actually understand how to do it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stick to this one property now, just so that I don't have to edit all those other things. And then headline for this one will be get a list of 3 exclusive off-market properties in Pasadena. Okay, so there's a few things to consider. Like I said, volume of this page, and also, quality of offer. So if there's only 3 deals, that could get people. But if you're trying to get, like a consistent amount of people inquiring off the retargeting ad, you're going to want something probably a little bit more broad, like people that have engaged with the lead form and they didn't fill it out, or et cetera, et cetera. And I'll show you how to do that. But let's just complete this process. So we're going to go to call to action. We're going to go to learn more, or you can do download, since this is kind of a get a list, and you want to make sure you actually have the list, right? And so I'm just going to click on create form. And let me change the page here, just because this is my actual page that I'm running ads from. So let's do, where's my test page? There we go. So now we're going to do create form, continue, and then you're just going to type in form name, lead form number 1. And then we're going to do intro, and then we're going to just do, you could skip the greeting here, and we can just get their name, email, and phone number. So we can say, get an exclusive list of 3 off-market properties in Pasadena. And then, and we could say, actually tell us where to send your exclusive list. Okay, and then now it kind of makes more sense, like, oh, okay, they're going to send it to me. You can do name and email. That will lower your cost. And then you can do name, email, phone number if you would like. And then privacy, you're just going to take your privacy policy from your website. So if we go here to this person's website, it's right there. If you don't have a website, you probably can't implement this strategy, but you can paste a privacy policy on a Google Doc as a hack. So you could, basically come here, paste this whole thing. I'm not going to do it, but imagine this was the whole thing. You could paste this to a doc and then create a shareable link, which you can do. I'm just going to save it, and then you can share this anyone, and then you could copy the link here. So if you don't have a website, there's no excuse not to be getting leads for your business today. Like, you don't have to do this specific strategy, right? I'm going to show you other ways that we could retarget and different things we could select, but no reason why you can't be getting leads every day automated. So that's that. You could paste the link there if you don't have the website, and then the completion could be to your calendar. So you could put a link to your Calendly, and then basically, let's see if I can pull my Calendly up. So I can go here, close this, all this chaos, and then I can paste the link there, right? So in this case, your offer is the list of 3 properties, right? So you'd probably want to link them to a spreadsheet with that, or a video with a spreadsheet or something like that. That's kind of on you to decide what your call to action would be. In this specific example, a list of 3 exclusive off-market properties, I would basically send them to a spreadsheet with those, or like a PDF of it, like just a clean PDF showing it, maybe giving the breakdown of each property and maybe some photos, basically something that you're going to use to upload to the MLS anyway, but you're just giving them exclusive access, right? And then for your headline, you could just say, thanks, you're all set. And you could say, we're sending, or you could say, click get access to get immediate access to these properties. I'm going to just remove it there, to these properties. I know this is too long, this doesn't make sense, but I'm just showing you what you would say. So something along click get access to get immediate access. Oh no, to view the list. I'll just say to view the list. And then I'm just going to write the same thing here again. So click get access to view the list. And then here I'm going to explain it again. So list of 3 exclusive off-market properties in Pasadena, right? And so then what's going to happen is you can just type this and put get access, and now everything makes sense. And then this would be a link to a spreadsheet or a Google Doc or something like that. Now it all makes sense. They see the ad, they had already visited the website, they're getting retargeted, they see this form, they fill out the form, and then everything lines up here. Then you would click publish. And so now you're going to publish this campaign and launch it, right? So what I'm going to do is show you how do you actually link this up to your CRM so that it actually generates leads here. So what we're going to do in our CRM is go to our account, go to settings, and then we're going to go to integrations, and then we're just going to choose our page. So our software makes it super easy. So I'm going to go to investor leads, click connect page, and just like that, I can refresh, and basically our entire Facebook lead form, oops, I went too far back. Our lead form is now linked to this this system that we just built. So if we go here, and it's going to load in a second. And then we go to settings, integrations. There it is. And then we just click Facebook form fields mapping, map the fields, full name, email, phone number, boom. And just like that, the CRM is set up. And I think I can run a test here. I already have my two emails and phone numbers set up here. So let me delete these. And then we can just go to Facebook lead ad testing tool, and we're going to go here, and then we're going to just go to this tool. And so all you got to do is select your page. So I'm going to choose investor leads and then lead form 1, and then we're going to do a preview of the form so we can see how it works. And then I'm just going to put in my info here, so Quinn. And then if we click on next and we submit this, check this out. So as soon as I submit this is going to zoom over into the CRM. That way, everything's set up. So, we get the lead right on time. We figure out, what they're looking for, whatever it is. And we just click submit. So watch. So get access. So then this goes to my Calendly in this example. But, by the time I go back here and I refresh this, we should have me as a lead in this actual CRM. And there I am. So I got a series of email and text automation since I do all these different tests and stuff. But you can build this out really easily, really simple. We have this for our clients in New Breed Agent Academy. Like, these are just templates you can just swap out the photos of and maybe change the text, but all this stuff is hooked up. So that's how you can retarget off of the website, right? I'm not going to run the entire ad process, but I want to just show you some other ways you can use the audiences tool. So that's how you run the ad. That's how you link it to the CRM. And then if we go to these create audiences, you can do custom audience. And then the other thing you're going to want to do, probably if you've ran ads before, is videos. So you could retarget people that you viewed your video. So I would recommend, if you're just kind of in the beginning stages, to stay at 25%, just because if you go too far here and you don't have enough people, it's just not going to, actually show the ad. So you would just type in people who watched 25% of your video, and then you could, describe what the video is. It's like selling your home video. And I just have to choose one in this example. So I'm going to just go here and I'll just choose confirm and then create audience. And so then it's going to start populating those people. That's one way. I can also do lead form. So I can do people that have opened the form, right? And I could just do all of these. So people who opened lead form. So that could be they either opened it and submitted it, or they just opened it, didn't submit, or you could further segment by each individual. I'm just showing you more the function here than the specific one to do. You can create that audience. So then when you're running those retargeting ads, you could either stack each of these different interests, or you could segment it based on what you're attempting to do. You can also go to your Instagram account and do people that engage with this account, right? Or people that like follow or visited, or people who engage with the ad, people who sent a message. So depending on who you're going for, you can use all these features. It's pretty much unlimited in terms of Facebook and Instagram itself, right? Anyone who engaged, people who like or follow it, people who visited the page. So, the most broad way to do it is just people who engaged on pretty much the Facebook and Instagram. That way it'll pull kind of the ads, it'll pull the likes, it'll pull, not the likes, but it'll just pull like the biggest audience of each one. But if you want to experiment, you can do each one individually. There's really no limit to how many you can create here. And then you can just start to see like how many people are in these audiences as well. So that's basically how we do this thing. I know it was a lot of information here, but we just run our cold campaign, right, which I cover in other videos. And then from there, we just retarget them based off of what they engaged with. And we have a specific call to action for that type of an ad or campaign. And then they come into our database and they're a warm lead. So hopefully that found you well. Make sure to stay subscribed if you like this content. I'm posting this every week, coming with high quality, actual detailed tactical content, how to use this stuff, how to apply it. And if you are interested in implementing this for your business, just continue to stay tuned to this content and check out, how you can make sure to implement it, right? Because it's one thing to kind of hear me go through all this stuff, and it's cool to learn, but when you actually run that first campaign, get your first lead and start closing deals, this could really change your business. So hopefully it found you well. Make sure to stay subscribed. If you're interested in connecting with me further about how you can work with us and what that looks like, there's a link to book a call or whatever I put, either book a call or send me a message. You can do that down below. I will see you in the next video, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.